Hello everyone. Before we start, Jory Kongjo has something to say in Korean.
박수 크게 칩니다.
교과서 내용 중에 각색된 내용이 있어서 진짜 신화의 내용을 간략하게 말씀드리겠습니다. 일단 아테네에서 쫓겨나서 크레타 섬에 오게 된 다이달로스는 미노스 왕 밑에서 일을 하게 됐는데 공주의 불경한 짓, 그러니까 나쁜 짓을 도와준 다이달로스는 그가 만든 절대 빠져나올 수 없는 미로에 갇히게 됩니다. 다이달로스와 그의 아들 이카루스는 탈출하기 위해서 새 깃털과 밀랍으로 날개를 만들고 다이달로스는 이카루스에게 밀랍의 특성에 대해서 경고했지만 황홀병에 찬 이카루스는 점점 더 높이 날다가 태양열에 의해 떨어지게 됩니다. 갇히게 된 이유가 책이랑 다르기 때문에 고려해서 들어주시면 더 몰입해서 들으실 수 있습니다.
From now on, we will begin our discussion with the topic Icarus was born and adventures. The name of the pro team is Jory Bina는 강조, and the name of the con team is Jory Bina는. Please shake hands with each other.
자, 무당 일어나서 안녕할게요. 얘들아, 우리 박수 쳐주자.
Please everyone take your seats. Now let's check the discussion. What do you think is Icarus foolish or adventurous? If you think Icarus is adventurous or foolish now, you can change your mind after listening to this discussion to the end. Let's hear the opinions of two different teams. The first speaker of the pro team is Dawn. Please introduce the discussion topic and give reasons for approval and grounds for arguments on the topic for 3 minutes.
This is our first opinion. Minos broke or sea, so Icarus and Daedalus had no way out. Because he was an inventor, he could make anything. He made wings and tried to escape. It can be judged though that building wings in situations where nothing can be done is their brave challenge to escape. We must also focus on the plight of Icarus, not the crash of Icarus. He is an adventurer who succeeded in flying with his wings. Even if he failed in the last part of the flight, he succeeded in flying. For other reasons, explorers and scientists think Icarus was the first person to challenge flying close to the sun. What if you look at Icarus' flight from this perspective? He won't regret what he did, and he will be proud of what he challenged. I want to let those who criticize Icarus' flight know that crashes are part of the flight. Also, Icarus' wings are said to be a human roaming for reasons unknown. In other words, we should keep in mind how wonderful and mysterious the sky is for Icarus. Unknown word. On this side, I think Icarus' flight was, of course, adventurous, but on the other hand, I think it was inevitable. What are the other reasons why Icarus' flight is adventurous? As mentioned in the textbook, Icarus and Animatis has various meanings. The blue background is the sky. The heart of the black Icarus is represented in red, the heart of the yearning human being. The yellow star pattern is the feather of the wind. It is also said that the people who fall, which appears to be Icarus here, mean airmen who died during World War II. If these airmen are Icarus, is Icarus reckless? I don't think so. The airmen fought for their country and were peacefully until the end. Who would call them reckless?
The first speaker of the country refutes what the proof team claims for a topic and give explain the reasons or grounds for the criticism for 3 minutes, please.
As she said before, Icarus and Daedalus were not imprisoned to leave the kingdom, but they were imprisoned for their sins. In textbooks, Daedalus and Icarus appear as mortally imprisoned creatures, but the actual myth is completely different. He had the king, then the princess, and then the king again. And King Minos, who was angry at this, loved Daedalus and his son Icarus in a marriage. Now, let me express my opinion in earnest. I think what Icarus and Daedalus did was sever, threaten, and jailbreak. As I wanted to tell you earlier, Icarus and Daedalus were not imprisoned virtually unlike the textbooks, but they were imprisoned after committing a crime. Can't the labyrinth in which King Minos imprisoned them then be seen as the kind of prison? If a labyrinth is a prison, escaping from it is a just jailbreak. Can a jailbreak can be called adventurous and just act? And one more thing. I think former Icarus is a really impulsive and arrogant person. Did he really think about what would happen after he acted like that? The correct answer is no. Clearly no. If he had given it some more thought, it would be a bonus that he hadn't lost his life and his father wouldn't have lived in the grave either. In fact, after Icarus' death, Daedalus was greatly saddened. Of course, this is a little myth, not my opinion. There is a story that Daedalus was so sad that the demigod hero Hercules had retrieved the body of Icarus. Did Icarus think and act on the emotion his father experienced? Well, it doesn't matter. Whatever he think it or not, both refer to him being arrogant and impulsive. That's my opinion. Thanks for listening to this.
The second speaker of the first team, please repeat what opponents have just claimed and give the place of the first and second reason for 2 minutes. This is my second opinion. King Minos loved the work of inventor Daedalus. Minos loved King Minotaur Tower with a desire to cherish him for the rest of his life. When Daedalus was locked up, his son Icarus was also forced to be locked up. Icarus had nothing to do with it, only because his father was Daedalus. He was destined to be locked up in a tower for the rest of his life because of his father. But he ventured to escape with his new invention, the wings, even though the result led to Icarus' death. If he had not tried to escape by flying in the sky, he would have to be confined to the tower for the rest of his life. The attempt seemed to come from Icarus' adventurous spirit. Icarus' adventure failed, but it was his last great choice. For another reason, I searched Icarus' wings to find a story related to the discussion, where I saw that his wings were an ephemeral desire due to excessive greed. But I don't agree with this. Is Icarus' flight to the sky an excessive desire? Icarus just climbed into the sky if the young heart, if the young mind were unable to control itself. I will say this Icarus' flight was challenged. Which challenge begins with knowing the outcome. There's no end-to-end challenging in this world. Finally, to sum up my opinion, the flight of Icarus was essential and full of challenges. Look what the pros have explained and take the first and second reading for 2 minutes, please.
The meaning of the Icarus wing is a human's yearning for an unknown world and the world of God. In religion, the Greek myth of reading at night, Icarus appears on page 297 of chapter 5, God's punishment for the errors of humans. Bellerophon, a human who wanted to be a god, flew in the sky, even though he rode a flying horse. And Python flew in a carriage of his father Apollo. Flying in Greek at the time was God's domain, and all three people who were overconfident had a tragic ending. As a result, the gods punished the arrogant people, and Icarus, who was punished, was foolish and vain. The story of Icarus is a warning from the gods about meaningless and ruinous behavior from reckless spirit. Look at this picture. Landscape is the Fall of Icarus by Peter Brighel shows that Icarus' death is meaningless. In this painting, it looks like a farmer is the main character, and we can only find Icarus' lamp, which fell into the sea from the bottom right. People are also just doing their work, completely unaware that Icarus has fallen into the sea. The most important thing is the sun, which caused Icarus to fall, is shining brightly as if nothing had happened. In short, Icarus' fall and death are meaningless and reckless action and the God's rebellion. That's my opinion. Thank you for listening.
얘들아, 박수치기 좀 더 크게 박수 쳐줄래?
Please the first team discuss the reason for the counter-argument for 1 minute. Here of the first, please repeat what the opposing team has just claimed and give a second reason. Please refute the arguments of the opposing team and summarize the presentation of the opposed team and completing the presentation for 2 minutes.
This is third opinion. Icarus was a brave and adventurous human who tried to explore unknown sky where he can die. At the time of Icarus, people had little information about the sky. Icarus would feel the sky as an unknown world, and probably it would be like an unexplored space for him. When people hadn't been there yet, they sent animals to space during exploring. Even though they already had some information about it, they worried about the astronauts' life in unfamiliar space. Like this, we have fear of places where we don't know well. It will be the same for 14 years old young Icarus, who must fly huge and unknown sky. Additionally, in the case of Icarus, he didn't anything to test the sky, but he overcame the fear and soared from a tall tower. It must need lots of braveness. In addition, he was gotten a horror warning that he can die when his flying goes wrong. In other words, he had to fly to an unfamiliar sky where he can fall and lose his life. But he tried to fly higher into the sky to explore. He took a risk to venture. It will never be possible if he had not been adventurous. Icarus was courageous and adventurous human who tried to escape his fear of the unknown and venture into dangerous sky.
Author of the continuity review the substitution that the process just claimed and announcing the second reason for 2 minutes. Please summarize the arguments to finalize the presentation in 2 minutes.
After Icarus and Daedalus were kept in the maze, Daedalus was thinking of a way to escape, and he thought of making wings. Daedalus made wings with birds' feathers and beeswax. And here's the point that you gotta focus on. Do you think Icarus fell down because he didn't know characteristic of beeswax? The answer is no, he knew it. His father warned Icarus, if you fly too close to the sun, the wax will melt, and if you fly too close to the ocean, your wings will get heavy because of the humidity. So follow my route. But when he began to fly, he thought he could fly higher. So he started to fly higher. He didn't listen to his father because his eyes were blinded by greed. In the end, the wax melted and Icarus fell into the sea and died. His falling was all about greed and arrogance. His desire to fly higher, which led to foolishness, not brave. According to Kant, in humans, human nature and rational mind coexist. So we have the free will to decide whether we follow our nature or rational mind. But we must try to be more rational. But Icarus was not being rational. He chose to follow his own nature. For these reasons, we think Icarus is foolish. Thank you.
The first speaker of the course, please refute what the opposing team has just claimed and give a second reason. Please repeat the arguments of the opposing team and summarize the presentation of the cross team and completing the presentation for 2 minutes.
This is our last opinion. Icarus was brave and adventurous person despite his young age. Icarus flew only at 14 years old, which was similar to our age. That young Icarus had to fly up from a tall tower. Even if he succeeded to fly up, he could die during flying. So it would be hard choice to fly to the sky to young Icarus. But he was eventually chose to fly. We can see from things that Icarus is braver and more adventurous than other children of his age. Considering that he was 14, he was really brave. Then if you are Icarus, can you fly up into the sky that looks endlessly? I think only a few students will say yes, because it needs a lot of braveness. Icarus was a brave person who decided to venture even though he was young. Therefore, I think Icarus is an adventurous and brave children rather than ignorant and straightforward.
Team, please review the substitution at the process of preparing and announcing the second reason for 2 minutes. Please summarize the cause arguments to finalize the cause presentation in 2 minutes.
The story of Icarus is instructive. Icarus will represent a reckless and ambitious attempt that ended in failure or ruin. Can be said to be a trait caused by human desire in that it teaches us how important the moderation and importance of getting desire is here. Icarus is also a warrior human element and challenge to God. Icarus symbolizes human desire by challenging the realm of God and dreams that cannot be achieved with foolish coordinate. Icarus escaped from the radium, but the joy of flying gave rise to grief. And he was captured by the desire to fly with joy and across the dazzling sun, and eventually passed to death. For Icarus is so full of conceit and vanity that he cannot bear the rocks that is slowly melting into the sun. In conclusion, from his escape from prison, Icarus cannot be called brave, but because of the painting of medieval painters and modern and contemporary myths of Icarus. Icarus is not brave, but a fool who died in conceit.
Have you changed your minds, or is it the same? I like the opinions of the two teams and the questionnaire, so I don't think I can only choose one team's opinions. Thank you for the presentation of the each team, and I will choose the list results.